The things that went really well within this observation activity within the classroom was that she did do 10 to 15-minute increments of each activity within the class period. So the kids it was one activity after another activity after another activity, and they stayed engaged because it wasn't drawing out an activity over a long period of time. The author's chair, I thought, was an outstanding activity. One to assess, the student's paper without really assessing the student's paper, having other students give feedback, and the students practicing standing in front of a class and reading their papers. A lot of times if students read their papers out loud or read sections of their papers out loud, it might not make sense, and the only time they can ever tell that is if they're reading out loud. So it really worked well. Things I would change, the only thing I'd really change is I don't know if I think they got to pick their pairs for the revising and editing section, and I think I would have went ahead and put them in groups and maybe had them spread out a little more throughout the classroom. It was kind of cluttered and loud during that section. I think a lot of people were already done and they really didn't have an activity to do after that, so there's a lot of downtime, which, in the classroom a lot of times there's a lot of talking. So it was really loud and there was a lot of people off task in that particular section, but because it was sectioned off in 10 to 15-minute increments, it was only that small amount of time where they had that downtime. So that's the only thing I would really change. Surprising information that was revealed. I put that it's difficult to get a sense of differentiation or instructional strategies through 1 to 2 observations. I mean, you can kind of pinpoint some, but it just depends on the activity. Like I walked in a day where they were finishing up 4 different activities, and so there wasn't really any new information presented except for the project. So I didn't really get a feel of that. I could get some of what happened within those different activities that were previously worked on, but I didn't get the actual giving of that activity or presenting or teaching of that activity or that concept or whatever it was that the teacher was teaching. So like with walkthroughs and different things like that, it's a snapshot of what the teacher's doing. And so I mean, you really don't get an amazing grasp on that within one small 40-minute section of a class. How will this experience transform my practice as a school administrator? One is to pay closer attention to the details of the delivery of the instruction. Like I said, it's a small snapshot. It's not a humongous time. I feel like you need more than one time to observe a teacher and the way that they do things in their classroom. If it's effective, a lot of times you're going to see the students teaching each other, which is what I saw. So I really like that. And you kind of get a grasp on the students at first were, kind of like, who is this lady coming in here? And then afterwards they just kind of, were oblivious to me sitting there. And so they went about their whole way. And I think that you have to make sure as a teacher and as an administrator that you do become oblivious, that the students are oblivious to you being in there so that they don't act a different way. And it's an experience that is, new, not new, but just something that's a natural way that they're working, So all in all, I thought the observation video was a great activity for us, our educational leadership journey. Kind of gives you a new perspective. Not sure I really like that, I had to film myself watching them. So that was kind of weird, but other than that, I thought it was an excellent experience in understanding exactly what we're looking for in differentiated instruction and instructional strategies and that kind of thing. Attention to the learning disabilities. Did they pay attention to that? Did they have multicultural awareness? Did they have ethnic appreciation? Did they have gender sensitivity? And I think the teacher that I observed used humor in order to, build on all of that, use terminology that any kid could understand, and was very gender sensitive. Her classroom was set up that it was a boy in the back or a girl in the back, a girl in the front, or a boy in the front. So she had them in two seats across, and in every seat there was a boy and a girl sitting by each other. So I thought that was great, and it gave them all an opportunity to be able to experience the other gender and not have the boys dominate the conversation, the girls dominate the conversation, We always know that statistics show that boys have a harder time within the classroom paying attention and all that good stuff. So hopefully the girls can kind of rub off on them. Um, the multicultural awareness, the groups were assigned by the teacher, so that was definitely a part of that. Um, in the room, there was no clump of students sitting together, so she did have that too. And I thought she did a really good job of not bringing anybody, you know, weaknesses out to everybody else, no matter what gender, no matter what color, no matter what race, no matter what whoever they are, whether they're rich, poor, wherever it is. I thought she had a really good sense of that. Um, Within the group project, the attention to the learning disabilities, the technology, she used technology within her class. The project had to be based off of within the iPads. We're a one-to-one district, so that every kid has an iPad. That's where your assignments are going to be used. She also sends out emails to the students and the parents, kind of outlining all the homework. She uses Edmodo. She also uses the Remind 101. So she really does appeal to all learning disabilities by reminding those students what to do, reminding the parents what to do if there is homework. So all in all, it was a great experience, and I really appreciated that particular teacher that I did observe.